Let's talk about something we've all felt but almost never talk about, that need for a little reassurance. We're often taught that asking for it is a sign of weakness. But what if that's all wrong? What if it's actually one of the most important keys to a real connection? You know that exact moment, right? There's that little flicker of doubt, a tiny bit of distance you feel, and you're right on the verge of asking, hey, are we good? But then you don't. You just swallow the words. Why on earth do we do that? Well, it's because we've all been sold this story. And the very first thing that story tells us is that needing to hear that you're okay, that you're on solid ground with someone, means that you are just fundamentally insecure. And right after that comes another label. Suddenly, you're being too emotional. That simple need for connection gets brushed off as some kind of overreaction, something that needs to be toned down instead of listened to. And then, there it is, the heaviest label of them all. You're just too much. Your need is painted as this big, heavy burden. And so, what do? To protect the people you love, to protect the relationship, you learn to ask for less. You learn to just be quiet. So all of this silence, all this swallowing our questions, it creates what you could call a quiet misunderstanding. It's this internal conflict where a totally genuine need is just left unspoken, and a really corrosive kind of logic starts to take over. And here it is. This is the logic that starts to feel true. If they really cared, I shouldn't have to ask. You convince yourself that real love should be psychic, that your partner should just know what you need. But of course, the need doesn't go away. Nope, it just goes underground. And it starts digging this quiet little trench between you that you can't even explain. Now, that quiet misunderstanding, it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It grows because of this huge myth that's out there. So, it's time we tackle it head on. The very idea that has given reassurance such a bad name. This is the messed up definition that, let's be honest, we've all kind of soaked in. It takes the most extreme cases, people who really do need constant validation just to get through the day, and it unfairly slaps that label on everybody. It basically turns a normal, human need into a serious character flaw. Okay, let's set the record straight right now. The myth says that asking for reassurance is all about you trying to prove your worth. But the truth? It's about confirming emotional safety. The myth says it means you doubt yourself. The truth, it actually means you value clarity over confusion in the relationships that matter most to you. The big shift here is realizing reassurance isn't about fixing something that's broken in you, it's about maintaining something healthy between you. So what happens when that need for clarity just gets ignored over and over? Well, the consequences aren't loud or dramatic, not at first anyway. It's more like a slow, quiet erosion. Let's look at a story that shows exactly how this works. I want you to picture the quiet partner. This is someone who doesn't ask for a lot, but every now and then, maybe after a strange day or a tiny disagreement, they ask this incredibly simple, vulnerable question. They're not trying to start a fight, they're just reaching out for your hand in the dark. And here's exactly how that erosion happens. Step 1, the ask. It's so simple, so vulnerable. But then step 2, the reaction. Maybe it's a heavy sigh or an annoyed joke. Whatever it is, it teaches them their need is an inconvenience. So logically, in step 3, they stop asking. And what's the consequence? The big one in step 4? The love might still be there, sure, but the certainty of that love, that feeling of being totally secure in it, that starts to fade. And right there, that's where the loneliness kicks in. Now, let's flip the script and look at the strong one, the person everyone else leans on. When they finally ask for a little bit of reassurance, you have to understand it is a huge deal. It's not a sign that they're cracking. It's a sign that they're just plain tired of holding everything together and need to know the ground beneath their own feet is still solid. So, what happens when that rare, vulnerable request gets dismissed? The lesson they learn is, well, it's brutal. They learn that their strength doesn't earn them care when they finally need it. No, they learn it's actually used as an excuse to neglect them. So we've seen how damaging it is to withhold reassurance. But what if we've been looking at this whole thing the wrong way? What if reassurance isn't a demand and it isn't a weakness? What is it then? This is the turning point. It's about seeing it as an act of emotional collaboration. Look at the difference here. It's all about the intent. Unhealthy requests, they feel like control. Prove you love me, fix my self-esteem. But healthy reassurance, it's a total collaboration. It's an invitation. Help me feel secure with you. See the difference? It's not about fixing a person, it's about taking care of the connection. Moving from the language of control to collaboration, honestly, it changes everything. Okay, this next idea might sound a little backward at first, but it is so important. It's not just insecure people who need reassurance. Actually, the most emotionally secure people out there, they get how valuable it is, and they are not afraid to ask for it. Because here's the deal. Being confident doesn't suddenly make you immune to vulnerability. Life is messy. Things are always changing. People evolve. The energy between you can shift. Reassurance is just the tool you use to recalibrate your connection through all of that noise. It's a simple act of saying, hey, I'm still here. I still choose you. We're still us. And all of this brings us to our final and maybe our most important idea. The strongest, healthiest relationships, they're not built on an absence of doubt. They're built on the constant presence of affirmation. Let's close this out with one last little story. Just imagine there's been this long, tense silence between two people, and one of them finally breaks it, not with an attack, but with this incredibly simple, honest request. It's not asking for a solution, it's asking for a connection. And the response is just as simple, but my God, is it powerful. No big speeches, no getting defensive, just a clear, direct promise of presence, of commitment. And in that moment, nothing huge happens on the outside. The original problem isn't even solved. But inside, everything changes. That feeling, you know the one, of something just settling in your chest, that is the power of reassurance. That's what emotional safety actually feels like. And this right here, this is really the heart of it all. The goal isn't to get to a place where you never have to ask. The goal is to build a relationship where you can ask without feeling ashamed, and where the answer is always given with love. It's about replacing all that stressful guesswork with a calm certainty. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Who in your life, your partner, your friend, your kid, your parent, who might be a little tired of guessing right now? And where could a tiny, simple moment of reassurance from you make all the difference in the world?